Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video, and I am really enraged. May not seem like it right now, but I've been going through so many emotions and just anger and fury that I'm probably just numb and exhausted at this point. And I had to work all day too, which is 10 hours a day when I work. So I don't know what is going on. I don't really get it anymore. I'm so fucking confused and pissed off about everything with this whole thing that I'm about to talk about. I've had it. I've really had it. So the situation is as follows. We have a new order in Madison, Wisconsin, in Dane County. And that order limits gatherings, quote unquote gatherings, to indoor gatherings, to no one who is outside of your household. That's not really a gathering, obviously. No one. It's not 5. It's not 10. It's not 5. It's not 3. It's no one. Now, I joked about earlier in the year about like people that are they're not cohabitating, but they're couples and stuff, and they go visit each other. They're not wearing masks, and because they're not wearing masks, so they're have to kiss and make out and do oral sex or whatever. They're not wearing masks doing their thing. And I joked about like calling the public health people on them. Just like as a joke to like Rufus McDoofus, my character that the coronatarian guy who's the most extreme about the virus mandates and stuff. I joked about that, earlier in the year, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll call one of these places or prank call and see what they say. But this is actually a serious thing now. It's not a joke. They're actually banning people from going to people's houses, basically sequestering people. So the thing is, the irony is that the restaurants you can meet people at still, at least for now, you can meet people at a restaurant. Correction, you can meet people in your own, supposedly in your own household. Do you think they check IDs? I've been to the restaurants. They don't fucking do that. They don't look at your ID and say, "Oh, you're not from each other's household. We're not going to serve you." Of course they don't do that. Or at bars. So, nevertheless, maybe the enforcement isn't going to be there that is like in fucking New Zealand or something. They won't have cops at your door, or SWAT teams knocking down your door or anything about that, like that. But the concept terrifies me. And it's not that I don't know that the virus is, circulating really badly in Wisconsin, or there's been more deaths, every day or whatever. And by the way, in Dane County, Madison, Wisconsin, there's been, between the ages of 1 and 59, 4 deaths since this whole thing started. I think the first confirmed case was in February. 4. And I was like, well, maybe 60 to 70 would be a lot of deaths too. Oh wait, that seems to be when it gets up there. No, it's about 8. And then when you get into like the 80s, that's when you really take off. It's like 26 or some shit right now. So it's not like that's a very small number of people, especially since this has been circulating for the better part of a year. And there's a lot of, reasons why you can say that that's the case. I don't think it's all the mandates, because it was circulating for months before the mandates, and people are still doing their thing. I saw people at bars all summer, inside, So it's bullshit to say, oh, the mandates that's why there's less deaths here. Oh. So no, it's bullshit. And it's against the Constitution, freedom of assembly. And it doesn't matter what you think about, it really doesn't matter what one thinks about the mandates. At this point, I'm fed up because that's just not right. Telling people what to do in their own home. You have the freedom of choice to do with your body what you want. Now, you can argue if you're coming from that side that believes in the masks and the mask mandates that, oh well, there's other people in public places. Okay, that's an argument that can be made, even if the efficacy of masks is debated, especially when you're talking about non N95 masks, which is the truth. There's been studies that say that cloth masks are, while not worthless, pretty much in the aggregate they might be, to some extent. Especially when it came to flu, there were studies about that, because there was one in Vietnam. There was a study, some other places. It's like World Health Organization sponsored studies too, so it's not like it's just some fucking like Trump sponsored organization or something. We hate masks, so we did a study of Vietnam. It's not like that. So this is complete bullshit. They cannot tell people what to do in their own fucking home. And that's not going to stand. I decided that I'm going to contact lawyers, attorneys, and, as many people as possible to challenge this. Because this is not acceptable. And, maybe nothing will get started until after the thing passes, whatever. Like, nothing will it'll get started, but won't, it won't go, just like with Evers' stay-at-home order. It was like a week or something left of the stay-at-home order anyway. So it's like by the time that the courts won the lawsuit, it was kind of like, well, yeah, too little, too late. But still, it's the concept. The concept that you can tell people who they can have in their own home. It's fucking bullshit. I mean, let's go back to, go back 10 months when I was a big-time fucking Bernie bro, watching Young Turks all the time. Watching secular talk, which I still do. I still like secular talk. Jimmy Dore, all those people, all the same suspects, Progressive Voice, all these videos on YouTube. And I was like, oh my God, these people are the right people. They're righteous people. It's like, well, in this crisis, I guess maybe my libertarian side was, is flaring up, because like, fact of the matter is I've always had that. I voted for Gary Johnson in 2012, so it's not like that side isn't there, but I think it's bullshit. I don't think this should stand. I stood for a lot of things. I let them roll. I rolled over for a lot of this bullshit. I rolled over for the masks. I rolled over for social distancing to some extent. I even didn't go to role playing for the month of May because it was like, oh, the stay-at-home order. I have to follow that. Ugh. What a load of shit. In the long run, it didn't help. You got the second wave, man. Yeah. So no, I'm going to challenge this. I'm going to call lawyers. I'm going to call offices. Talk to people about this. I already tweeted it on Twitter. I almost said Tinder. I'm not going to, and I may not follow it either, because I don't believe that the government can tell me who I can have in my own apartment. I don't believe the government could tell me not to go to someone's home if they invite me. That's not right. Pandemic or not non-pandemic. I stood firm against all the Patriot Act and all the fucking civil liberties violations of the Bush administration when 9/11 happened. 9/11 was real. It really happened. Sorry, it wasn't lasers from the moon. But the fact of the matter is, we cannot trade security for tyranny, that's, or trade, have security and then have tyranny. That's just beyond the pale to me. And that includes with this crisis. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. No matter, even if it was people just like bucket loads of people, wheelbarrows on the street like during the Spanish flu, I would not support this order. It's fucking bullshit. It should be resisted. And I will. I'm going to be consulting with various law offices and trying to get something going. I don't know, I don't know how I'm going to do it because, Twitter, the area of Twitter was very kind of quiet about this for the most part, as far as what I saw. I saw there are a lot of supporters on Twitter of this mandate, unfortunately. They probably think I'm some sociopathic fucking grandma killing Trump tard or something, right? Yeah. Yeah, I believe in the Constitution. I'm sorry. So that's about all. I think it should be challenged as much as possible. I think it should be defied always. Um, I mean, it's smart, maybe it's a smart thing to have your like 70-year-old uncle not go to Thanksgiving, right? Like if especially or if a guy has heart condition not to go to your Thanksgiving celebration, right? It's a smart thing, maybe. Or maybe they can call Skype. Why is Zoom the thing? Why do people not Skype anymore? What the fuck, man? Um, they can Zoom you in the room where you're in the rest of the family or whatever. But to tell people what the fuck they can do in their own home in general bothers me. And that doesn't mean I'm some kind of fucking Trump supporting, you know, racist douchebag. It just means I'm a human being that believes in civil liberties. Where's the ACLU? They used to be the forerunners of this kind of stuff. Now it's all these fucking. So I might have to go to this like some of these like Republican kind of affiliated law offices because those are the only people that are listening right now to this shit. I kind of compare it to someone like, let's say there was like a diehard like paleo conservative quote unquote Republican that had voted for he voted for Ronald Reagan and I mean voted for Nixon and fucking all those people and George Bush Sr. and stuff and Bob Dole, and then all of a sudden George W. Bush was doing all this shit with Iraq and he's like, man, I'm gonna have to side with these fucking Democrats and these liberals about 9/11 or the war in Iraq. It's just like that's how I feel, but on the other side. So it's rough because it's a weird situation to live in, but you got to do what you got to do. So I will be contacting these people, and I'm hoping we restore some sanity. It's like, I mean, it seems like I'm worried. What I'm worried about is a shifting goalpost. And it's to some extent we have had that, obviously there's a huge wave of cases and deaths and stuff, and not huge numbers of deaths. Like, it's not like fucking thousands a day in Wisconsin or something. It's just like, but there was one overflow hospital. I think the part of it's because the healthcare system in the United States is shit. It's almost an argument for Medicare for all in a way, or a better healthcare system in general, basically, because of all this shit going on. Because I think people would have more preventative measures done and preventative kind of stuff if they had better healthcare, which would lead to less death, which would lead to less of the virus being bad. So that's basically all I got to say about that. I would say that. What do I want out of a lawsuit? I just want to send a message. I mean, maybe I'll sue them for mental health anguish with mental health because I'm worried about the fucking police. If I have a Tinder date, again soon, I'm worried about the police knocking down my door because I have a girl over that's not part of my household. Oh my God. It's probably going to be below 30 because seems to be what I fucking date. It's just such fucking bullshit. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do some type of legal action or try to find someone that wants to do that because it's complete bullshit nonsense. Mask mandates are one thing, like I said. Even banning mass gatherings, concerts, whatever. It's a whole other thing too. But telling me what I can do in my own fucking house. That is fucking tyranny. Not that the other ones weren't tyranny, but for me, that's the line that they crossed. And they will fucking have hell to pay. That's all.